Today I bought some SUI and added to my crypto portfolio for the rest of the 2025 bull market. Not on hype, not on speculation, but simply because I've seen this setup before. In this video, I'm going to show you the top 5 reasons why I bought SUI. I'm going to show you exactly how long I'm going to hold it for, and I'm going to show you the exact price level at which I intend to sell it and take some profits. My name is CryptoManRan and I've been in crypto for over 10 years. I was an early investor in Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, and many of the other big protocols that you may know. I started this channel because I want to build the most profitable community in the world by sharing my investment frameworks and some of the inside information that I get. So if you want to join me on this journey, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell because you never know when videos are going to come out here. So let's talk about SUI and why I added it to my portfolio today. And I'm not only going to show you why I bought it, but I'm also going to give you a framework that you should apply to any token before you buy it. The main thing before you buy a token is to make sure that we're not getting caught up in hype or impulse. Because if there's hype, it's usually because people are euphoric. And people get euphoric when they've made money, right? So if you're buying into the hype or the euphoria, that's a sure way to get yourself wrecked, right? So before I make any purchase decision, the first thing I do is I lay out the top 5 reasons why I'm investing in the protocol. And then I pretend that I'm going to have to justify to my wife why I'm using the money from my joint bank account to make the investment. Now look, I know it sounds corny, but it actually works, right? Because it makes me think really hard about the token that I'm buying, and it ensures that I'm not just buying because of hype. Because after all, if I did tell my wife that I'm buying because big accounts on Twitter told me to do it, I think that's the point we should put our foot down. So here are the top 5 reasons why I'm buying SUI today. Firstly, for those of you who don't know what SUI is a layer 1 blockchain, just like Ethereum or Solana, except this layer 1 blockchain was actually developed inside Facebook.
Well, Facebook says it's entering the cryptocurrency market. Earlier today, the company announced a new digital currency called Libra, and it'll be used on a blockchain-based system called 𝗪𝗓.
Facebook spent over $2 billion developing a blockchain that was going to be super fast, super cheap, user-friendly, and developer-friendly. And what they were going to do with it was they were going to launch a stablecoin that they could use across the entire Meta ecosystem.
The company plans to launch in 2020, and it will have its own app as well as be available on Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp. Facebook hopes that the system will allow users to send money as easily as a text message.
The only thing is that at that time, the US administration was very hostile towards crypto.
Mr. Zuckerberg, you said that Facebook will not be part of launching Libra anywhere in the world until all the U.S. regulators approve.
Libra raises a lot of serious concerns.
I'm not a big fan of what they're doing there. I think it's a big mistake.
It was a neat idea that'll never happen. And I have nothing else to say about it.
And eventually what happened was Facebook was forced to abandon their blockchain plans. When they did that, they let the blockchain teams go. And some of the people in the blockchain teams got together and started using this language that was developed inside Facebook to start some blockchain projects. The 2 main teams that did this were SUI and 𝗪𝗛𝗄. And they both did this with Facebook's blessing. SUI and 𝗪𝗛𝗄 traded together at the same valuation for a while, but then there was one point where SUI just seemed to get more traction and it completely broke away from 𝗪𝗛𝗄. So here are the top 5 reasons why I think SUI got traction and why I'm adding it to my portfolio today. The first thing is the technology. SUI uses the Move blockchain language, which was developed inside Facebook. It's an extremely fast blockchain. In fact, I've heard numbers of 120,000 transactions per second. Now, when you compare that to Solana, which does 65,000 transactions, or ETH, which does 15 to 30 transactions per second, SUI's speed and cost, super impressive. The next reason why I'm buying is because of the ecosystem. It's not about the people in the ecosystem or the community. It's about the development ecosystem. SUI was developed by a company called Mysten Labs. And the developers in Mysten Labs have also developed a whole lot of other applications which will support the SUI protocol and allow for more applications to be built on the SUI protocol. There are 2 applications that are worth noting that have already been developed. The first one is an application called Walrus. Walrus is on-chain storage. Why do we need on-chain storage? Because it means that things like AI agents or applications can actually use data storage on-chain to compute. And that makes a big difference. Right now, there's no other chain which allows for on-chain data storage. The other protocol that's worth talking about is a protocol also developed by Mysten Labs, which is called 𝗕𝗂𝗃. What DeepBook does is it creates a liquidity layer below the chain, which allows the tokens on the chain to get a lot of liquidity. These are just some of the applications that Mpton Labs has developed. And the truth is that they continue to develop more and more and more applications, which make the ecosystem around SUI very, very, very interesting. That brings me to my third reason why I'm investing in SUI. And that must be the team, right? The same team that developed SUI is also developing these applications at Mpton Labs. And inside Mpton Labs are some of the smartest people in blockchain. In fact, they were the smartest people at Facebook, and now they've become some of the smartest people in blockchain. One of them is Evan Chang, who's the CEO. He's an ex-Meta executive. 𝗙𝗛𝗍, who's a good friend of mine and also an ex-Facebook employee. And probably most important is a guy called Sam Blackshear. He was the guy that invented the Move language at Facebook.
I am the creator of Move. I'm the first person to join the Libra project. Someone pulled me into a room and pitched me, and I knew right away, hey, here's this big effort that Facebook is doing. It's very ambitious. We have this mission of financial inclusion that I immediately identified with.
And he jumped, and he's now part of the SUI project. This team is not only strong technically, but they're also very, very, very strong from a business development point of view. They've won the hearts of the community, they've done deals with big brands like Pokemon, and they continue to impress with their business development and technical skills. All right, that brings me to reason number 4, and that's of course the price. And it's not about buying SUI because the price is low today. Even though I think at $3.50, I think SUI is an absolute steal. Right now, SUI is trading at $3.50, and that gives it a market cap of 35 billion. Now, when you compare that to Solana at 100 billion or ETH at 450 billion, you kind of realize that if SUI get this right, they've got a massive upside to go from here, right? But it's not only about that. The SUI price is also super reflexive, which means that when the price of the market goes up, or when the market goes up, the SUI price goes up a lot more than the market. And likewise, when the market goes down, the SUI price actually goes down much quicker than the market, right? Right now, we've just had a little bit of a correction, and that's the best time to buy SUI, because I know that if the market recovers, then SUI could go up. Now, how high do I think that the SUI price will go by the end of the cycle? Well, I made a video on our other channel where you can find a link below, which gives you a whole lot of price targets. And in that video, I laid out a model which helped me model the price of SUI. And I got to a number of between $16 and $20 by the end of the cycle. And so if my calculations are right and we can get to $16 to $20, then there's at least a 5 or 6x upside from here on the SUI price. If you want to watch that video, there's a link below. Go and have a look at that video. The last reason I'm buying SUI is because of what I call their share of attention. Now, what does that mean? SUI has been able to get the attention of both TradFi investors and crypto investors. Inside crypto, SUI's got a massive and very, very, very strong community. And I've been doing a lot of work in the TradFi world, and SUI is almost becoming the next token after Solana to hit the TradFi world. And in fact, most recently, a treasury company called Mill City Ventures was launched around SUI to allow TradFi a way to access SUI via traditional markets. So those are the 5 reasons why I'm buying SUI. The first one is I think it's got an amazing technology. The second one, it's got an amazing, amazing ecosystem. The third one is the team, the developers, the business development team. The fourth one is the price action. And the last one is their ability to capture their share of attention. And don't discount the share of attention one, because that's a big one. I want to remind you that when markets go down and people look for tokens to buy or even shares to buy, they go for the ones that have the most attention. Apple, Amazon, Meta, Google, Facebook. Those are the stocks that have the most attention. And when the markets go down, those are the stocks that people land up buying. And it's no different when it comes to a crypto token. The more attention a token has, the more people pay attention to when it's going up or down, and add it to their buy list in corrections, which means that there's always a natural buyer. So it's actually a very, very, very big point. All right, so I've given you 5 reasons why I'm buying SUI, but slow down, Tiger, because we're not actually ready to buy it yet. Before we buy a token, we also look at some of the reasons why we shouldn't be buying the token. It's easy to justify why you're buying something, but it's always important to also look at it through, let's just say, not such rose-colored glasses and almost like decide why you shouldn't buy it and then weigh out the reasons to buy it against the reasons not to buy it, right? And if I look at the 2 issues that I have with the SUI blockchain, which are worth mentioning, it's number 1, the token unlocks. SUI has pretty aggressive token unlocks. And for those of you who don't know what that means, it means that more tokens are going to come onto the market, right? They're going to be released from venture capital investors, early stage investors, which are all up a lot on their investments. And so when those tokens hit the markets, unless there's naturally a whole big pool of buyers, that could push the market down. Now, SUI has quite aggressive unlocks, more aggressive than some other tokens that we know, and that is one of the risks in the market. The other problem that I have with SUI is, up until now, I haven't seen them launch any unique applications that are not native on other blockchains. I mean, they've launched some meme coin launchpads, but let's not kid, Solana is the king of memes. They've launched some real world asset protocols, but let's not kid, ETH or Solana are the real world asset plays. The one thing that bothers me about SUI is that I haven't seen any unique application launch that is new on the SUI blockchain and not available anywhere else, right? But remember I mentioned earlier that SUI have an ecosystem of cool developer tools that have been built. I mentioned Deepbook, I mentioned Walrus. Well, I think because they're going to carry on building these unique things which are not available on other chains, I think very, very soon we're going to have a unique app breakthrough on SUI that isn't available anywhere else. And now I use the example of the on-chain storage, right? Where there's no other protocol which has on-chain storage, which means that on all the other protocols, all the data storage is actually happening either in centralized Amazon Web Services or similar in centralized providers, or the computation is not happening on-chain. And so I think if the SUI team continue to build an ecosystem of cool applications that app developers can use, then that is eventually going to be their unique selling proposition. All right, so now I've given you the top 5 reasons why I'm buying and 2 major concerns that I have. The big question is, do you think I can get this through my wife? Well, good news is I did that before. I did my big buy today and she said yes. And so I added SUI to my 2025 bull market crypto blockchain portfolio. Subscribe to this channel, hit the notifications bell, because very, very soon I'm going to drop a total 2025 bull market exit strategy. And that's probably going to be one of the most important strategies that you're ever going to need to know. Because the big thing about crypto is that most people come in, they'll end up buying at the right time, but they don't know when to exit. I've been here for 3 cycles and I can tell you I know exactly when I'm going to exit my portfolio. But for now, I'm not exiting, I'm buying, which I'm going to give to you, the community, in the comments. All you need to do, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave me a comment in the video, and you could walk away with $1,000 worth of SUI before the end of the month. I'll see you again soon. Until then, trade well, my friends.